Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. David, 60 years old. For the past 30 years, I've walked alongside countless patients between the ages of 50 and 70. I've seen shoulders once strong from carrying families grow tired, and I've seen eyes once filled with worry begin to shine again as their bodies regain strength. Today, I want to start our conversation with a simple question. Have you ever felt like your legs just don't listen, even after a few steps up the stairs? One of my patients, Robert, 67, said that to me. Doctor, I eat normally, my weight is stable. So why do my muscles feel weak? I looked at him and shared a truth. Few people mention muscle isn't just about appearance. It's a living endocrine organ sending signals, myokines to your heart, brain, liver, and immune system. Every step, every time you lift a bag, your muscles whisper to your body, I'm alive. I'm young. But then age does what age does. The mitochondria, those tiny power plants inside your cells, slow down. The signals to build muscle grow weaker. We call that anabolic resistance. Your muscles become like a construction site with no materials, no power, and no supervisor. I often ask my patients, do you skip breakfast or just drink tea? Because morning is the key. We need around 25-30 grams of protein with 2.53 grams of leucine to turn on mTOR, the muscle building switch. If your breakfast is just a pass, imagine this tomorrow morning. Instead of just sipping coffee, you make a simple smoothie. Whey or pea protein, some berries, a spoon of almond butter, or maybe a bowl of cottage cheese with a few walnuts. Just one small change, but it sends a big message. Let's build. And if you love cheese, let me say this sincerely, avoid processed cheeses, the American slices, the salty aged industrial ones, loaded with ages that fuel inflammation. They give you a bit of protein, but take away your recovery. Choose. One afternoon, Linda, 70 years old, came in looking worried. Doctor, I barely exercise, but I get tired so quickly. I told her, Linda, we're not going to race. We're going to train your mitochondria first. A bit of resistance with bands, more sunlight, walks 7 to 8 hours of sleep, some magnesium, vitamin D, omega-3. Those are the quiet building blocks. And don't forget vitamin K2, the guide that helps calcium find its way to your bones and muscles, not your arteries. Sometimes after just 6-8 weeks, my Pat, have you ever noticed how your gut listens to what you eat? The gut microbiome is the silent control center. A glass of kefir, a bowl of live yogurt, traditional pickled vegetables. They calm inflammation, improve protein absorption, and make muscle-building signals clearer. And when everything is ready, we add a bit of hormesis, those good stress touches, 2 to 3 resistance workouts a week, a short sauna, and finishing your shower with 30 seconds of cool water. No extremes, just enough for your body to hear. Life isn't a laboratory. There will be mornings you miss your protein breakfast, nights you sleep late, workouts you skip. That's okay. We're not chasing perfection. We're choosing consistency. Every good meal is a biological savings deposit. Every deep sleep is compound interest for tomorrow. Every step you take is a vote for your inner youth. And here's something science quietly admits: gratitude and connection. Patients who keep a daily gratitude list, 3 things a day, sleep deeper, exercise more, and today I'm not asking you to become an athlete. I'm inviting you to become a stronger version of yourself. Starting tomorrow, have a breakfast with 30 grams of protein. Take a 15-minute walk under gentle sunlight. In the evening, maybe half a bowl of cottage cheese before bed. This week, 2 resistance workouts. And tonight, before you close your eyes, ask yourself, what do I want my body to hear tomorrow, decline or rebuild? If you're ready, I'll walk with you breath by breath, step by step. Because my friends, today I want to share with you a small habit that can transform your health and energy after 50 eating protein in the morning. It sounds simple, but it's the golden key to reigniting your muscles, waking up your body, and slowing aging. I still remember one of my patients, Evelyn, 68. She was very disciplined, exercised every day, ate carefully, slept early. Yet she still felt weak, like her body was losing vitality. She said, Doctor, I live healthy. Why am I still tired when I asked for... Our bodies are the same. Muscles can't rebuild if there's no fuel in the morning. Why is the morning so important? After a long night of sleep, your body goes 810 hours without energy. Insulin is low, glycogen is empty, and your body starts breaking down muscle for fuel. If your morning starts with only coffee or a sweet pastry, you're feeding muscle loss, not muscle growth. Science shows when adults over 60 eat 25-30 grams of protein in the morning, they activate the mTOR pathway, the cellular switch that I call mTOR the vitality switch, and morning is the golden moment to flip it. Many older adults prefer light breakfasts, a banana, a few toast slices, or a small glass of milk. But the truth is, after 60, your body needs more protein than when you were young. Not because you're weaker, but because your body doesn't hear the building signal as clearly. Think of your muscles like an old radio. The signal is weaker, so you just need to turn the volume up. For young adults, 15 g of protein is enough, but these meals don't just help maintain muscle, they stabilize blood sugar and keep your mind sharp all morning. One morning I met Robert, 70, a former tennis player. He said, "Doctor, I just don't have the energy to train anymore. Even though I eat well, I'm tired." When I checked his food log, his breakfasts were always light, just bread and coffee. I asked him to try a protein-rich breakfast for 30 days. The result was amazing. After 3 weeks, he told me, "I feel alive again. I have energy all day." Morning protein, a gift for your mitochondria and brain. Amino acids help create neurotransmitters that boost focus, memory, and clarity. When combined with early sunlight, you also boost natural vitamin D, a key for muscle cell renewal. Imagine this: tomorrow morning, you wake up, open your window, let the sunlight touch your skin. You make a small smoothie, add some protein, a few walnuts. And as you take that first sip, whisper to yourself, "I'm nourishing my body one cell at a time." That's not just, my friends, sometimes youth isn't lost, it's just asleep inside your muscles. And morning protein is the alarm that wakes it up. So tomorrow, before turning on the TV or checking your phone, give your body a full, loving start. The right breakfast may not make you richer, but it will surely make you younger, stronger, and happier every day. My dear friends, I know most of us love cheese. It's creamy, fragrant, and found in almost every American meal, from the melted slice on morning toast to the golden topping on pasta or burgers. But today I want to tell you a truth that few people talk about. Not every cheese is your friend. In fact, some types of cheese are quietly damaging your muscles every single day, even while you believe you're eating healthy. One of my patients, Harold, 72, loved cheese. Every morning he'd slice a few pieces of American cheese into his fried eggs. He said, "It's protein, doctor. I thought it was good for my muscles." But after a few months, his tests showed high inflammation, elevated liver enzymes, and muscle loss, even though he exercised regularly. I had to tell him honestly, "Harold, the problem isn't the eggs, it's the cheese." Why is industrial cheese so harmful? Not all cheese is bad. The problem lies in how it's processed and what's added to it. Common cheeses like American cheese, processed cheddar, or pre-packaged slices contain large amounts of additives, hydrogenated oils, and industrial salt. When cheese is heated at high temperatures or stored for long periods, it creates compounds called AGEs, advanced glycation end products. Think of AGEs as rust inside your cells. They accumulate, attached to proteins and fats, damage muscle tissue, cause inflammation, and disrupt mitochondrial energy production. The result, the body's ability to synthesize protein declines. Insulin becomes less effective. Muscles start shrinking even if you eat enough protein. Bad cheese doesn't destroy muscle because of protein, but because of toxins hidden inside. Many people ask me, "Dr. Cheese still has protein. How can it be harmful?" I answer yes, but imagine consuming protein mixed with poison. Your body spends precious energy detoxifying instead of building muscle. A study from Tufts University showed those who consumed more processed cheese with high sodium had a 25% higher rate of muscle loss, sarcopenia, compared to those eating natural cheese. The main reasons: silent inflammation, oxidative stress, and vascular damage, all of which weaken the muscle building process. So which cheese helps nourish your muscles? You don't have to give up cheese. In fact, some fresh, naturally fermented cheeses are powerful allies for muscle health because they are rich in whey and casein proteins that support muscle recovery, contain probiotics that balance your gut microbiome, are low in sodium and additives reducing inflammation. Here are the types I recommend for adults over 60. 1. Ricotta cheese. Soft, fresh, easy to digest, and rich in leucine, the amino acid that flips on the mTOR muscle building switch. 2. Cottage cheese contains both whey, fast absorbing, and casein, slow absorbing, providing steady protein overnight if eaten before bed. 3. Goat cheese. Easy on digestion, full of short-chain fats that support the liver and gut, great for those sensitive to cow's milk. I always tell my patients, if you want to eat cheese, choose one your body can recognize. The fewer strange ingredients, the better. Always read the label. If you see a long list of things like emulsifiers, vegetable oils, or colorants, that's not cheese, that's a chemical pretending to be cheese. A small tip: how to eat cheese the right way. A small bowl of cottage cheese before bed can help your body recover through the night. Its slow digesting protein provides amino acids for 6 to 8 hours, while you sleep exactly when growth hormone GH is most active. If you pair it with a slice of ripe fruit like kiwi or apple, the gentle insulin rise helps protein absorption and stabilizes blood sugar. In the morning, ricotta or goat cheese with boiled eggs or whole grain toast can be a perfect combination, light yet nourishing. When your body listens to your food. I often tell my patients, your body doesn't just digest food, it listens to everything you feed it. If you give it artificial ingredients, it responds with inflammation, fatigue, and a fading spark of life. But when you nourish it with real, simple, natural food, it rewards you with energy, strength, and longevity. My dear friends, cheese is not the enemy, convenience and lack of awareness are. From now on, every time you hold a piece of cheese, ask yourself, is this real food or a factory product? Because when you choose wisely, cheese stops being a destroyer and becomes a friend to your muscles, your memory, and your vitality. My friends, in the last part we talked about cheese, a food that seems harmless, but can quietly weaken your muscles day by day. Now I want to tell you about another factor rarely discussed, but vital for keeping your body strong, active, and flexible after 60, the mitochondria, what I lovingly call the power plants of youth. One morning, Charles, 66, came to see me moving slowly. He said, "Doctor, I eat well, sleep enough, and exercise lightly every day, but I'm tired all the time. I just don't have energy." His test looked fine, but his body felt like a car running on a dying battery. I told him, "Charles, the issue isn't your heart or your muscles, it's the tiny power plants inside your cells. Mitochondria, the silent workers in every cell. They're microscopic structures that produce AT, the energy every life process depends on. Every breath, every step, every heartbeat exists because of mitochondrial energy. But after 50, these factories start slowing down. They produce less energy and more free radicals, the rust that triggers inflammation, fatigue, and weakens muscle recovery. When this happens, you can eat well and sleep enough, yet still feel drained because your cells can't regenerate energy as they once did. How to recharge your mitochondria and regain vitality. The good news: mitochondria can regenerate, and you can help them renew daily through small, consistent habits. First, remember this. The body is like a rechargeable battery. If you don't discharge and recharge it properly, it loses capacity. One, resistance training. Every time you lift weights, pull resistance bands, or do push-ups, you're not just building muscle, you're triggering mitochondrial biogenesis, the creation of new mitochondria. I tell my patients, you don't need to train hard, just train consistently. 2 to 3 sessions per week with simple moves, squats, wall, push-ups, light dumbbells are enough to tell your cells, make more energy. I still want to live strong. 2, morning sunlight and vitamin D. Morning sunlight doesn't just strengthen bones. It activates mitochondria in your muscle and heart cells, improving energy efficiency. I call it natural charging. Just 15 minutes each morning, no phone, no TV, letting light touch your skin is one of the best gifts you can give to your heart, mind, and body. 3, nutrition that fuels mitochondria. Certain nutrients charge the battery, including magnesium, vital for over 300 energy-producing reactions. Omega-3 keeps cell membranes flexible and protects mitochondria from inflammation. Vitamin B12 supports energy metabolism inside cells. When these nutrients are balanced, you'll not only feel stronger, but mentally sharper too. Sleep, the repair time for your body's power plants. I always tell my patients, you can't charge your phone without plugging it in. And your body's the same. Without sleep, mitochondria can't recover. While you sleep, your body repairs and clears out tired cells. If you sleep less than 6 hours, your mitochondria must overwork during the day, leading to cellular burnout. Give yourself 7 to 8 hours of deep sleep. Avoid blue light an hour before bed. And if you can end your day with a few minutes of gratitude, because a peaceful mind restores your cells better than any medicine. When energy returns, life changes too. After 2 months, Charles came back. He walked faster, his skin was glowing, and his smile was bright. He said, "Doctor, I didn't think I could ever feel this way again, waking up excited to start my day. No special medicine, just protein-rich breakfasts, light resistance training, enough sleep, and morning sunlight. Those small, gentle habits recharge millions of cells little by little." My dear friends, turning 60 is not the end of strength. It's a gentle reminder. It's time to care for every cell, because true youth doesn't live in the years you've counted, but in the energy within every breath. Let every step, every meal, and every night's sleep become an act of love for your mitochondria, and you'll soon realize your body is far stronger than you ever imagined. My dear friends, after understanding the role of mitochondria, the power plants of youth, I want to take you deeper into another secret of longevity and strength after 60-something called good stress, or as we say in medicine, hormesis. It may sound strange, right? We've always been told that stress is bad, that we must avoid it to stay healthy. But the truth is, a little bit of stress in the right amount can actually be medicine. It activates the body's repair systems, renews cells, and can even extend lifespan. I'll never forget a patient named Margaret, 71, who suffered from knee degeneration and muscle weakness. She told me, "I'm afraid of exercise, doctor. Just a few steps up the stairs and it hurts." I said, "Margaret, we don't need to run. We just need a small challenge to tell your body I'm still alive." I gave her a simple routine: sit and stand from a chair 10 times each morning and walk for 10 minutes after dinner. The first week she complained of pain. By the third week she said, "Doctor, I'm starting to breathe easier." And by week 6 she smiled brightly. "I can climb stairs again." That's hormesis. Your body responds to small challenges by becoming stronger. One good stress, nature's way of keeping life alive. When you lift weights, walk briskly, or shower in slightly cool water, your body senses a challenge. It immediately activates cellular defense systems, producing heat shock proteins, molecules that repair damaged proteins. This process makes your mitochondria more efficient, your muscles firmer, your brain sharper, and your immune system more adaptive. I always tell my patients, your body is like bamboo. Without wind, it grows weak. With just the right breeze, it becomes flexible and strong. 3 simple and safe forms of good stress for those over 50. First, light resistance training. Just 2 to 3 sessions per week using resistance bands, light dumbbells, or body weight is enough. It doesn't need to be heavy, it just needs to challenge you. Each time you do it, your body gets the signal: rebuild stronger. One of my 75-year-old patients trained with only 1 kilo weights, but after 3 months, her grip strength increased by 30% and her mood improved more than ever. Second, temperature exposure. Science calls it heat and cold exposure, sauna, and cold showers. A 10-15-minute sauna session opens blood vessels, boosts circulation, and activates heat shock proteins that reduce inflammation. In contrast, finishing your shower with 30 seconds of cold water triggers noradrenaline, improves mood, and increases energy metabolism. I once guided Robert, 69, to do this every morning. He said, "Not only is my body stronger, but my mind feels sharper too." Third, short fasting, intermittent fasting. This isn't extreme dieting. It simply means letting your body rest 12-14 hours between dinner and the next morning's breakfast. During that time, your cells trigger autophagy, the body's self-cleaning process, recycling old cells and renewing energy. Studies show that people who practice this regularly have lower inflammation, better insulin sensitivity, and more effective muscle protein synthesis. 3, the deeper benefit beyond the physical. Good stress doesn't just strengthen your body, it builds willpower, discipline, and spirit. Every time you endure 30 seconds of cold water, finish 5 more squats, or fast 1 more hour, you're telling yourself, "I can do it." That creates confidence, youthfulness, and a sense of control, something many people lose after 60. 4, the thin line between good and bad stress. I must emphasize this. Good stress is only good when you listen to your body. If you overtrain, sleep too little, or eat too strictly, stress turns harmful, it breaks down instead of building up. So the golden rule is, small challenge enough, rest consistent, repeat. That's the natural rhythm of the human body. Once I asked Linda, 70, after 6 weeks of gentle training and lifestyle changes, "How do you feel compared to before?" She smiled and said, "I'm not afraid of aging anymore, doctor. Every morning I wake up knowing I'm still moving forward, even just a little." Her answer made me silent for a while, because that's exactly what I want my patients to realize, that aging is not the end, but a chance to begin living differently. My dear friends, life after 60 can be full of joy if you know how to create small challenges for your body. Each time you stand up from your chair, walk a bit faster, or splash cold water on your skin, your body's coming alive again. And I want you to remember this simple truth. Those who avoid all difficulties don't live long, but those who befriend challenges become stronger because of them. Amen. My dear friends, today I want to tell you about a silent friend inside your body, something often overlooked but essential for keeping muscles, memory, and energy after 60. They are micronutrients, tiny vitamins, and minerals with enormous power. We often talk about protein, exercise, or sleep, but few realize. If protein is the brick, micronutrients are the cement. Without them, every muscle-building effort collapses. One of my patients, Susan, 65, once told me, "Doctor, I eat plenty of protein and exercise regularly, but I still feel weak and get leg cramps." A blood test showed severe magnesium and vitamin D deficiency. And this happens to millions after 50, because as we age, absorption declines, appetite drops, and nutrient synthesis slows. The result, weak muscles, brittle bones, mood swings, poor memory. One, vitamin D, the sunlight of longevity. We know vitamin D strengthens bones, but few know it's also the switch that activates muscle genes. It binds to receptors in muscle cells, enhancing protein synthesis, reflexes, and balance. A Cambridge study found older adults with vitamin D levels above 30 in a running male had 40% stronger muscles than those deficient. The best part, you don't need expensive supplements, just 15 minutes of early sunlight daily. If you live in low sunlight areas, take 2,000, 4,000 IU of vitamin D3 with a fatty meal, fish, eggs, olive oil for better absorption. I always tell patients, every morning Ray doesn't just warm your skin, it awakens every muscle cell inside you. 2, magnesium, the forgotten mineral. Magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions, from muscle contraction and nerve transmission to ATP energy production in mitochondria. Without it, your body is like a car out of fuel. The engine runs, but there's no power. Common signs of deficiency: Mara, nighttime cramps, shokuwanemor, rapid heartbeat or insomnia, nenus, fatigue or irritability. One patient, John, 70, had leg cramps for 2 years. After 3 weeks of magnesium citrate, they nearly disappeared. He looked at me half smiling. "How could something so small matter so much, doctor?" I replied, "Because sometimes it's the smallest things that keep everything running. Foods rich in magnesium, dark leafy greens, walnuts, almonds, pumpkin seeds, and natural mineral water. If supplementing, choose magnesium glycinate or citrate, easily absorbed and gentle on digestion. 3, omega-3, the lubricant for your muscle cells. If your body is an engine, omega-3 is the oil that keeps it smooth. EPA and DHA reduce inflammation, keep cell membranes flexible, and improve insulin sensitivity, helping muscles absorb nutrients better." A Canadian study found adults over 65 who took 2 g of omega-3 daily and did light exercise doubled their muscle mass and strength gains compared to those who exercised alone. You can find omega-3 in salmon, sardines, mackerel, or if you're vegetarian, chia seeds, flax seeds, or algae oil. And remember, omega-3 doesn't just feed your muscles, it feeds your mind. Many over 60 report sleeping better, feeling calmer, and thinking more clearly after consistent use. 4, vitamin B12, the spark for brain and energy. B12 often disappears after 50 because stomach acid drops and acid is needed to absorb it. Deficiency leads to fatigue, dizziness, and that foggy feeling in the head. B12 is also vital for red blood cell formation, carrying oxygen to muscles. When oxygen is low, strength and recovery fade. I tell my patients, especially vegetarians, to test regularly. If low use, methylcobalamin or hydroxycobalamin, the most absorbable forms. See when micronutrients work together. I often say vitamin D is the leader, magnesium the worker, omega-3 the lubricant, and B12 the current. Together, they make the body run smoothly, energy flows freely, and vitality returns. You'll not only feel stronger, but also calmer, clearer, and sleep deeper. My dear friends, health isn't built from big changes. It's created from small, loving, consistent acts repeated over time. A few minutes of sunlight, a bowl of greens, a handful of nuts. These are the quiet seeds of longevity. Remember, reawakening, your body is a garden, and micronutrients are the drops of water that keep it alive. Nurture it daily and your garden will stay green even after 60. My dear friends, when we talk about health after 60, most people think about nutrition, exercise, or sleep. But there's one system that quietly controls all of these, one that few ever pay attention to: the gut microbiome. I often call it the second brain of the body, because inside our gut live over 100 trillion bacteria, and most of them are our friends if we treat them right. They don't just digest food, they influence immunity, mood, sleep, memory, and even muscle strength. 1. When the gut is weak, the muscles are weak too. Have you ever heard the saying, a healthy gut makes a healthy body? That's truer than ever after 50. Recent studies show that when gut bacteria fall out of balance, when bad bacteria dominate, the body enters a state of chronic inflammation. And that silent inflammation disrupts muscle building signals. Even if you eat enough protein, your body can't synthesize muscle properly because the second brain, your gut, is in distress. One of my patients, Linda, 68, ate well and exercised regularly, yet she was losing muscle quickly. Tests revealed her gut microbiome was unbalanced, damaged by years of antibiotic use. I advised her to change her habits. Add naturally fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, kimchi, and sauerkraut. And include soluble fiber from vegetables, oats, and chia seeds, the favorite food of good bacteria. One, you reduce sugar, especially refined sugar in soft drinks. After just 2 months, her inflammation dropped, her sleep improved, and her muscles began to recover. She said, I never realized my gut could affect my strength so much. 2, a healthy gut, a happy body. Good bacteria do more than digest food. They produce vitamin B12, vitamin K2, and short-chain fatty acids that nourish the gut lining, reduce inflammation, and enhance protein absorption. Even more fascinating, your gut communicates with your brain through the gut-brain axis. When your gut flora is healthy, your brain releases more serotonin, the happiness hormone. But when the gut is unbalanced, you feel tired, anxious, even depressed. One patient, James, 74, told me, Doctor, I just don't feel joy anymore, even though my life is fine. After reviewing his diet, I found he had no probiotic sources, only packaged foods, processed meats, and fried meals. 6 weeks after adding fermented foods, he called me and said, Doctor, I feel lighter, I sleep better, and strangely enough, I want to exercise again. Sometimes what we mistake for aging is simply the body crying out for help from the gut. 3, vitamin K2, the silent guide for strength. A healthy microbiome produces vitamin K2, a nutrient that directs calcium to the right places, bones and muscles instead of arteries. That's critical because many older adults take calcium but lack K2, leading to calcified arteries and weak bones and muscles. Natural sources include natto-fermented soybeans, aged cheeses, and egg yolks. If you're vegetarian or dislike natto, look for probiotic supplements containing Bacillus subtilis, a bacteria that naturally helps your body produce K2. I call vitamin K2 the silent guide because only when it's present do other nutrients reach their destination. 4, the body is an ecosystem, not a machine. We were taught that the body is like a machine, but after 30 years of practice, I've realized the body is more like a forest. Within that forest, millions of organisms coexist, and your microbiome is the fertile soil that sustains it all. If you destroy it with sugar, alcohol, stress, and medication, the forest wilts. But if you nurture it with real food, vegetables, and gratitude, it flourishes again. Tomorrow morning, try starting your day with a warm glass of water and lemon followed by fresh yogurt or kefir, a few slices of fruit, and a spoonful of flax seeds. It doesn't need to be fancy, only consistent. That's not just breakfast for your body, it's a feast for the quiet friends in your gut. My dear friends, after 60, true health doesn't come from grand changes, but from inner balance. When your gut is strong and your mind is calm, your body knows how to heal. Remember, strength isn't built only in the gym. It begins inside every cell and in a healthy gut. My dear friends, we've talked about protein, cheese, mitochondria, micronutrients, and the gut, all vital pieces of the puzzle for a strong body. But today I want to share something deeper, quieter, something without which all your efforts to heal remain incomplete. It's sleep, the time when your body regenerates in silence. When you sleep, your body isn't resting, it's repairing you. Each night as you close your eyes, your body begins a grand restoration. Millions of muscle cells are repaired and rebuilt. Growth hormone GH peaks between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., restoring muscle tissue. Reawakening. Mitochondria are serviced, removing old cells and activating new ones. I always tell my patients, you can't build a house during a storm, and you can't build muscle without rest. After 60, sleep becomes lighter. We wake up easily, fall back asleep slowly. That's why sleep must be protected like a sacred ritual. 2, sleep and muscle, the forgotten connection. A study from the University of Chicago showed that just 5 nights of under 6 hours sleep can reduce testosterone by 10–15%, along with protein synthesis. That means even with perfect diet and exercise, you won't recover without sleep. Your body needs peaceful nights to shift from breakdown to repair. When you're sleep-deprived, cortisol, the stress hormone, rises, accelerating muscle loss. But deep sleep boosts growth hormone and IGF-1, reviving your muscles. I remember a patient, Peter, 74, who said, I eat healthy, but I'm still tired and my arms feel soft. When I asked about his sleep, he admitted staying up past midnight watching news. After 3 weeks of a sleep schedule, turning off the TV by 9 p.m., sleeping by 10, he returned smiling. Doctor, I wake up lighter and my hands don't tremble anymore. No supplement can replace a deep night's sleep. 3, the bedtime ritual, forgotten by the young, but essential for the wise. Sleep doesn't just arrive, it's invited. Our bodies, especially after 60, crave rhythm and preparation. Here's a ritual I use myself and teach my patients. Reduce blue light 1 hour before bed, turn off screens or switch to warm lighting. Drink a small cup of warm water or chamomile tea to cool the body. Write down 3 things you're grateful for, even small ones. It lowers cortisol and relaxes the mind. Now keep your bedroom cool around 72-75 balcony, 22 to 24 to now. Mitochondria thrive in slightly cooler environments. Eat a light protein-rich dinner, chicken soup, tofu, or cottage cheese. Enough to rebuild, not to burden. 4. When sleep heals both body and soul. Sleep isn't just physical, it's emotional renewal. It's when the brain clears emotions, organizes memories, and restores mental energy. Have you noticed how everything feels lighter after a good night's rest? That's because sleep activates the parasympathetic system, the body's recovery mode. Blood pressure drops, the heart steadies, muscles relax, and the mind is washed free of worry. A 78-year-old patient once told me, "I thought I slept less because I was old, but really I just never allowed myself to rest." That touched me deeply. Because yes, sleep isn't a reward for hard work. It's a right of life itself. When you sleep, youth returns. It sounds poetic, but it's true. When you sleep well, your skin smooths, your muscles firm, your memory sharpens, and your heart feels lighter. That's why the Japanese call sleep biosui, the spring of beauty and longevity. Think of tonight as a gift. Don't fight sleep like an enemy, invite it with peace. Turn off the lights, take a deep breath, and whisper to your body, "Thank you for working all day, now rest." My dear friends, no muscle can grow without quiet nights. No youth can last without sleep. And no spirit can endure without learning to let go and breathe deeply. So tonight, before you drift away, remember this. Sleep is nature's most powerful medicine. Free, gentle, and waiting only for your permission to rest. Sleep deeply, because tomorrow we continue the journey of renewal. My dear friends, after working with thousands of patients over 50, I've realized something simple yet profound. Health doesn't come from the body alone, it also comes from the soul. You can eat right, sleep well, and exercise regularly, but if your mind is filled with anger, tension, or worry, your body will never truly be healthy. The body and mind are 2 sides of the same coin, and after 60, they affect each other more powerfully than ever. 1. When emotions shape the strength of your muscles. Most people don't believe it, but negative emotions can eat away at your body like acid. When you're angry, stressed, or sad, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone. In small doses, cortisol keeps us alive, but when it lingers, it becomes a silent destroyer. If granted, it reduces protein synthesis, causing muscle loss. It disrupts sleep, preventing recovery. It fuels inflammation, weakening your mitochondria. I once had a patient, Henry, 70, who lost his wife after 40 years together. Within 3 months, he had lost over 11 pounds of muscle, though he ate and exercised as before. It wasn't aging, it was grief that drained the energy from his cells. When we are sad, lonely, or angry, the body thinks danger is near. It stops building and focuses only on survival. 2. Gratitude, the natural anti-aging medicine. I remember visiting one of my older patients, Margaret, 76. She sat by the window smiling softly. "Doctor," she said, "I don't feel weak anymore, even though I don't exercise more. Every morning I just write down 3 things I'm grateful for." I smiled. Science confirms that people who practice gratitude have lower cortisol, steadier blood pressure, and deeper sleep. When you write what you're thankful for, your brain switches from defense mode to repair mode. That's when the parasympathetic nervous system, the recovery system, activates, improving circulation, relaxing muscles, and renewing your mitochondria. Gratitude is a workout for the mind. And like any muscle, the more you train it, the stronger it becomes. I often tell my patients, before bed, think of 3 things that make you smile, no matter how small. A sunset, a phone call from your child, the simple gift of walking on your own. That's all it takes for your body to receive the message, "I am safe, I can rest." 3. Connection, the nutrition of the soul. Many people think that aging means needing solitude, but loneliness is one of the most silent killers of health. A 75-year Harvard study found that the best predictor of longevity and happiness isn't money or genes, but the quality of our relationships. I remember Robert, 82, who lived alone after retirement. He ate well, exercised daily, yet grew weaker. One day I said, "Robert, join the morning group at the park, even if you just talk." 3 months later, he returned standing taller, his voice bright. "Doctor," he said, "I don't know why, but just laughing with others makes me feel alive again." I smiled because I knew being seen, being heard, being connected isn't luxury, it's biology. The brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, lowering blood pressure, reducing stress, improving circulation, and even boosting muscle recovery. For a calm mind, the body's greatest healer. When I was young, I believed medicine healed people. But after decades in practice, I've learned medicine treats the branches, peace heals the roots. A 70-year-old with calmness in their heart still radiates life. But a 50-year-old consumed by anxiety or anger will age rapidly. Because every cell listens to your emotions. If you send it peace, kindness, and acceptance, it responds with strength. Tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, sit still for 3 minutes. Place your hand on your chest, take a deep breath and whisper, I am still here, I am strong, and I am grateful for this life. Just a few breaths like that and your body will shift. Your heartbeat slows, your shoulders drop, your breath deepens, your eyes soften. That's the power of inner peace, something no pill can replace. My dear friends, we spend half our lives chasing health, yet often forget that our soul needs nourishment too, because the body can't heal if the heart remains wounded. So, remember, food nourishes the body, gratitude nourishes the heart, and love nourishes longevity. No matter your age, the journey of healing always begins from within. My dear friends, by now you've probably realized one thing. True health doesn't come from a single secret, but from harmony between the body, mind, and how we live each day. But today I want to touch on one final piece, what I call the key to lasting youth. Movement, gentle, consistent movement. I often tell my patients, the body is like a river. When it flows, it stays clear. When it stops, it turns muddy. After 50, many begin to fear movement. They fear falling, pain, fatigue. But it's stopping that weakens the body muscles, shrink joints, stiffens circulation, slows, energy fades. I remember Raymond, 72, telling me, I stopped walking because my knees hurt. I replied, if you stop walking, your knees will hurt more. I taught him to walk slowly, steadily, just 10 minutes a day. 2 months later, he came back smiling. Doctor, now I walk 30 minutes every morning. No more fear. The body is like music. If you stop playing, the melody fades. But when you move even gently, life's rhythm returns. Many think movement is about burning calories or losing weight. It's not. Movement is how we speak to ourselves. Each step, each swing of your arm, each rise in heart rate sends oxygen and nutrients through every corner of your body. Your muscles get the signal, stay alive. Your bones stay strong. Your mitochondria, those little power plants, wake up and hum with life. A Harvard study found just 30 minutes of walking daily can reduce muscle loss by 40%, cut dementia risk by half, and extend lifespan by 7 years. I call movement biological electricity. When it flows, the body thrives. When it's blocked, everything stagnates. After 60, you don't need marathons or heavy weights. You only need 3 gentle but powerful forms of movement, what I call the golden trio of longevity. 1, purposeful walking, 20-30 minutes daily. Walk slowly, breathe deeply, exhale fully. No need to count steps, just let your body wake up. Morning walks boost vitamin D, ease stress, and revive mitochondria. 2, stretching and gentle yoga. 5 to 10 minutes each morning to loosen joints and improve circulation. I teach a routine called 10 mindful breath stretch while focusing on each breath. When the body opens, energy flows. 3, light resistance training. Use resistance bands, water bottles, or your own body weight. 2-3 sessions a week, 15 minutes each. Not to grow big muscles, but to awaken them. Old muscle fibers need a reason to regenerate, and movement is the invitation. 4, movement, the medicine for the soul. When I walk each morning, I'm not just exercising, I'm practicing gratitude. I breathe deeply and whisper, thank you, body, for allowing me to walk today. Each step connects me to my heartbeat, my breath, and the rising sun. And I realize health is simply connection with yourself. Not fighting age, but walking with it consciously. I once told Joanne, 67, who struggled with depression, if you can't think positive thoughts, just step outside. Your body will help your mind first. 2 months later, she returned glowing. Doctor, I'm not fully happy yet, but I feel alive again. Movement may not erase sadness, but it brings peace. 5, aging is not the end, it's the rhythm of new life. An 85-year-old man once told me in a Tai Chi class, as long as I can walk, I am still truly alive. I smiled because that's the truth. We can't escape time, but we can choose how to walk with it. Every step, every stretch, every deep breath is a declaration. I am still here, I am strong, I am still living beautifully. My dear friends, movement doesn't just preserve your muscles, it reminds you of your power, the power to live, to love, to feel every moment through this body. So tomorrow, don't sit too long. Stand up, step outside, feel the sun, the breeze, your own breath. Because when your body moves, your youth moves with it. Live slowly, but never stay still. Every step you take today is one day younger tomorrow. My dear friends, We've talked about muscle, sleep, nutrition, and the habits that help you renew your energy after 60. But there's one final truth, a secret that modern science is finally confirming. Something I've witnessed for decades in my own practice. A positive mind can change your biology. In other words, the way you think directly affects how your cells live. One negative thoughts can weaken your body. I once met a man named George, 73. He had chronic back pain for years. Every visit he would sigh and say, "I'm old now, doctor. I'll never get better." No matter how good the treatment or physical therapy was, his recovery was slow. I told him, "George, if every day you tell your body I'm weak, then every cell will believe it." And indeed, science now shows chronic negative emotions trigger inflammation, increase cortisol, lower serotonin, and ultimately weaken your muscles, heart, and immune system. Researchers call this psychoneuroimmunology, the constant dialogue between your mind and immune system. If you keep thinking I'm tired, I'm weak, I can't, your body will eventually reflect those very words, because your body listens whether you believe it or not. Two, healing belief, not magic, but biology. On the other hand, I had a patient named Grace, 68, who suffered from osteoporosis and muscle loss. Yet every visit she smiled and said, "I know I'll get better, doctor, just show me the way." And she did. Within 6 months, her bone density improved, her muscles strengthened, her spirit brightened. When I asked her secret, she said, "Every morning I tell myself, thank you, body, for trying. Today I'll be a little stronger than yesterday." That's not magic, that's biology. When you believe you're healing, your brain releases endorphins and dopamine, the chemicals of hope and repair. They reduce pain, improve sleep, boost focus, and accelerate cellular renewal. Faith isn't just emotion, it's chemistry. 3, the body responds to love. Have you ever noticed how being near someone you love makes your breath easier, your shoulders lighter, your laughter more natural? That's oxytocin, the hormone of connection and calm. Oxytocin not only brings happiness, but reduces inflammation, lowers blood pressure, and supports muscle and bone repair. Every hug, every thank you, every smile is a healing message to your body. A University of California study found people who maintain warm, supportive relationships live 7 to 10 years longer on average than those who are isolated. Your body understands the language of love, every look, every touch, every act of kindness. And each one tells your cells, you are safe, keep living strong. 4, practicing kindness, the medicine no one needs a prescription for. I often tell my patients, if you want to live long, start by making someone happy every day. A simple phone call to an old friend, helping a neighbor with groceries, smiling at a stranger. These acts trigger serotonin and reduce stress better than any tranquilizer. Elaine, 70, once told me, "I started volunteering at a nursing home once a week. I thought I was helping others, but they helped me feel alive again. And I smiled because I knew when you give, you don't lose anything. You open your heart and life flows back in." 5, a healthy mindset, the longest lasting medicine. After 30 years as a doctor, I've written thousands of prescriptions. But the most powerful one only has 3 lines. Eat with gratitude. Move with joy. Reawakening. Because those 3 things nourish the body, the soul, and longevity itself. You can't avoid aging, but you can choose how you age. To age with worry or with peace. To age with fear or with love. My dear friends, your body hears everything your mind says. So speak to it gently. Send it gratitude, faith, and love. Because sometimes the secret to staying young isn't found in any pill, but in a smile, a breath, and a heart that still loves life. Aging isn't the end. It's the most beautiful chapter when we slow down, love deeper, and thank life for every single moment we're still here. My dear friends, if you're still watching, I want to say one thing. I am truly grateful for you. In this busy world, you chose to take time to listen, reflect, and care for your health. That tells me you're choosing not just to exist, but to live. I know some mornings you wake up feeling heavy, your knees stiff, your back sore, your heart tired, or your spirit low. And maybe you've thought, maybe this is just what getting old feels like. But I want you to remember this. Getting older doesn't mean getting weaker. It doesn't mean giving up. It means your body is whispering, take care of me in a new way. After 60, true strength isn't in big muscles, it's in the will to live meaningfully. And every small action, eating a proper breakfast, walking slowly, smiling at a stranger, or going to bed an hour earlier, is your way of telling life, I'm still writing my story. One start today. I don't want you to just nod and move on. I want you to begin. Tomorrow morning, wake up 15 minutes earlier. Step outside, breathe deeply, and tell yourself, I still have a chance to grow stronger. At each meal, add 1 more serving of greens, a little more protein, and eat with gratitude. Not just to survive, but to nourish. At night, turn off your screens earlier. Listen to soft music and let yourself rest. It's not indulgence, it's kindness to your body. Practice these 3 small acts for just 7 days, and you'll feel the difference in energy, sleep, and spirit. 2, share what you've learned. I've always believed health isn't just a gift, it's a lantern. When you keep your lantern lit, you light the way for others. If this video helped you, share it with friends, family, or anyone who needs to hear it. Because one small message today might spark someone's transformation tomorrow. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s regain energy, strength, and joy, all because they heard the right words at the right time. Maybe you'll be the one to share those words. 3, let's build a community, one that lives healthy deeply and meaningfully. I don't want this to be just a YouTube channel. I want it to be a home for hearts that want to live beautifully in later life. Subscribe, tap the bell, because every week I'll share real stories from the clinic, from patients, from life itself. Stories about muscles, sleep, nutrition, but above all, the belief that aging can still be radiant. When you join, you're not just learning, you're becoming part of a movement. Live strong, live aware, live with purpose. If you're tired, discouraged, or losing hope, know that I understand. I've seen many people just like you. And I've also seen them change slowly, gently, one day at a time. You don't need grand changes. Just one small step, one healthier meal, one deeper night of sleep, one more smile. That's the start of your new chapter. And I promise if you keep going, your body, whether 60, 70, or 80, will respond by renewing its strength, faith, and the light in your eyes. This video doesn't end with goodbye. It's just the first chapter of a journey we'll take together, a journey back to health, peace, and gratitude. If you're watching right now, do one small thing with me. Place your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and whisper, "Thank you, buddy, for everything you've carried through the years, for still trying every single day to keep me alive." Don't wait to be healthy to love yourself. Love yourself today so that tomorrow you'll still have the strength to love life.